Kuwait's Deputy Premier and Interior Minister Anas Al-Saleh called on servicemen to deal in a decisive manner with people violating the full curfew that entered force. Minister Saleh, also Minister of State for Cabinet Affairs, said during a meeting with security and military leaders, government resolutions achieve security of citizens and expatriates and safeguard their safety and well-being. The Ministry of Interior said in a statement, the meeting aimed at following up implementation of full curfew, which aimed at curbing the spread of the novel coronavirus. The statement added, the meeting touched upon deployment of security and military personnel nationwide to make sure the curfew was properly implemented and to monitor violations. The Sultanate of Oman's Health Ministry Monday reported 174 new cases of the novel coronavirus, taking to 3,573 the country's overall infections. The newly diagnosed cases comprise 36 Omanis and 138 foreigners, the Ministry of Health said, without giving a breakdown of foreign patients' nationalities. The ministry did not report new deaths, keeping COVID-19 fatalities in Oman at 17. The official Omani news agency reported, citing an update from the ministry, the total number of recoveries in the country has reached 1,211. Yemeni authorities declared Aden an infested city Monday after the number of coronavirus cases there jumped to 35 with 4 deaths. All 5-year war has shattered Yemen's health system, pushed millions to the brink of famine, and divided the country between the internationally recognized government and the Houthi group that ousted it from power in the capital Sana'a in the late 2014. The Aden-based National Coronavirus Committee late Sunday announced 17 new COVID-19 cases, 10 of them in the southern port city, to raise the total count to 51 with 8 deaths. The Houthi movement, which controls Sana'a and most large urban centers, has only reported 2 cases with 1 death. The Aden-based government has accused Houthi authorities of covering up an outbreak in Sana'a, an accusation they deny. Russia's coronavirus cases overtook Italian and British infections on Monday to become the 3rd highest in the world, after a record daily rise hours before President Vladimir Putin was due to review the country's lockdown regime. The official tally surged to 221,344, meaning Russia now has more registered cases than Italy or Britain and only trails Spain and the United States, as the number of new cases of the novel coronavirus jumped by 11,656 in the past 24 hours. More than half of all cases and deaths are in Moscow, the epicenter of Russia's outbreak. On Monday, it reported an overnight increase of 6,169 new cases, bringing its official total to 115,909. The country's coronavirus response center also reported 94 new deaths, taking the overall death toll to 2,009 people. Malaysian Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin said in an address to the nation on Monday, Malaysia has extended its nationwide lockdown until June 9th to curb the movement of people during Ramadan and Eid celebrations at the end of the month. He said on the advice of the Health Ministry and the National Security Council, he would like to announce that the Conditional Movement Control Order, effective until May 12th, will be extended until June 9th or another 4 weeks. Ramadan is an important month for Muslims across Malaysia, who comprise 60% of the total population of 32.37 million. However, Malaysia is also home to a multicultural society where almost all religious and cultural festivities are celebrated and considered a national holiday. Sri Lanka said it will lift its 49-day lockdown from tomorrow, while the government has urged people to adhere to all antivirus guidelines to ensure the curve stays flat. Sri Lanka imposed a total lockdown on March 22nd to counter the spread of the coronavirus outbreak, which was traced to a Chinese tourist from Wuhan who traveled to the country in late January. Commending the progress made in tackling the crisis, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa said that the curfew was being relaxed since the situation was under control due to the help extended by the health authorities, armed forces, and the police. India announced a limited reopening of its joint rail network beginning on Tuesday after a nearly 7-week lockdown, despite also reporting its biggest single-day rise in coronavirus cases. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has faced increasing calls to end his government's stringent lockdown of the nation's 1.3 billion population, with political parties, businesses and citizens saying the contaminant measures have destroyed the livelihoods of millions that rely on daily wages for sustenance. The shutdown, which has been repeatedly extended to stave off a surge in infections, is in force until May 17th. Ahead of that, though, the Railway Ministry said it would gradually restart passenger services, with 15 trains from Tuesday connecting Delhi to Mumbai, Chennai, Bangalore, Kolkata and other big cities. South Korean officials scrambled on Monday to contain a new coronavirus outbreak, searching for thousands of people who may have been infected in a cluster of cases linked to restaurants in the capital, Seoul. South Korea has been lauded for its quick, effective action on its epidemic, significantly reducing the rate of new infections in recent weeks. But the resurgence of cases has raised worries about a second wave of infections. Officials reported 35 new cases as of midnight on Sunday, the second consecutive day of new cases of that magnitude and the highest numbers in more than a month. Authorities have tested more than 2,450 people who went to the night spot in the Atiwan neighborhood, but we're still trying to track about 3,000 more. Hundreds of other people who came into contact with restaurant patrons have also been tested. Spain recorded its lowest daily coronavirus death toll in almost 2 months as the nation moves into the latest phase of a gradual easing of lockdown rules. According to Health Ministry data, the number of fatalities rose by 123 to 26,744 in the past 24 hours through Monday, the fewest since March 18th, and compared with an increase of 143 on Sunday. Infections in Europe's most extensive outbreak rose by 373 to 227,436 after the previous day's gain of 621. The total number of cases was adjusted to reflect changes in data from the Madrid and Catalonia regions. About half of Spain's population on Monday began the second stage of the government's strategy to lift the country's 2-month lockdown, which allows bars and restaurants to operate outdoor areas at 50% capacity and gatherings of as many as 10 people at private residences. France tiptoed out of one of Europe's strictest lockdowns on Monday, reopening shops, factories and some schools to revive the economy, but worry of the risks of a second wave of infections. France, whose official death toll is the world's 5th highest, had enforced an 8-week lockdown since March 17th. The government is now allowing a return to workplaces with social distancing measures and reopening schools in phases. The country's 67 million people can now leave home without government paperwork. Denmark has cut in half the physical distance at which citizens can stand apart as their country takes a key step towards ending restrictions on movement. According to a statement late on Sunday from the Danish Health Authority, the social distancing requirement has been reset to 1 meter from 2 meters. Denmark is now in the second phase of a return to something resembling pre-COVID life, with all shops opening on Monday. Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen has repeatedly said her government's decision to impose tough restrictions early on played a key role in allowing the country to roll back its lockdown earlier than many others.